When we're young and still untouched by the world, the question, who are you, is either going to scare you or excite you. For those it scares, it may be easier to not answer that question at all, as I did for a while, subscribing a vast majority of my time to escapism. And one of the things that's gotten us young people by is the ever-expansive multiverse of fiction. Comics, cartoons, anime, etc. help us answer that who are you question. All things, regardless of medium, are rooted in some form of reality, some form of the human experience. Writers may inject a bit of themselves in their stories, artists create their ideal world with their ideal colors and ideal concepts, or they create the opposite. Fiction explores both the dark and the light of humanity and puts a magnifying glass on the core principles of what it means to be a good or bad person. Whether you're a consumer, a creator, or both, this world has touched or shaped you in some way at some point in your life. There's no way around it. Naysayers may claim that the realm of fiction has no place in the real world, but if that were the case, children wouldn't adopt the virtues they see on television. Adults wouldn't think back fondly on the shows, games, and stories of their youths. The barrier between reality and unreality thins once an emotional connection is made.
Stephen, I see so many things that can hurt you. I should never have let one of them be me.
Personally, I couldn't imagine a world without fiction. Without it, our minds would probably be filled with unresolved questions of self, of humanity, and of how to interact with the world. Stepping back from the existentialism though, real or not, tangible or not, these characters, worlds, and ideas live in our heads rent-free for years to come. Just look at Archive of Our Own, DeviantArt, Twitter, Tumblr at some point. These sites are filled with the works of dedicated fans who are inspired to pay homage to these beloved worlds, beloved characters. And if you're the small angry guy of the group, you're most likely my fave.
Except Bakugo. Bakugo's straight up annoying.
Anyway, fandom culture has been normalized to such a degree that fans have more input than ever in these fictional worlds. Social media has dissolved the barrier between creator and viewer, opening the floor for inquiries and discussions that are much more direct and much more immediate. Arguments can be made on whether or not that's a good thing, but that can be a discussion for later. The relationship has changed, but at its core it is very much the same. Creators create something that an audience hopefully wants to see. The audience is the audience and has 3 ways to interact with that creation. They love it, they hate it, they're ambivalent. It's this audience reception that decides what becomes beloved or absolutely despised in pop culture. Examples: Wolverine, Bumblebee, Wonder Woman, The Avengers, Batman, Black Widow, Blade, Mystique, My Hero Academia, whatever's going on in Attack on Titan, I still have to watch it.
Men in Black, the Fantastic Four reboot, Captain Marvel, all the cash grab reboots and sequels of the last 8+ years.
You get my point. Now there's a reason these blockbusters are blockbusters. Magic systems, power levels, character roles, and dynamics are an answer to the relative rigidity of our world. It's a much more vivid, much more colorful bird's-eye perspective on overarching themes and concepts, as opposed to the usual worm's-eye view we may find ourselves stuck in. That is to say, it's willing. These fictional, fantastical places are not so alien that we can't relate. We see ourselves in the humble Jedi, in the Wakandan prince, in a boy who can manipulate the 4 elements, and even an anthropomorphic raccoon. There's so many more examples. Just tell me you didn't want to be in that world when you first watched Lion King, or you didn't have a gemstone you drew up in your free time. Tell me you didn't Kamehameha or practice the fusion dance. This is what people want. They want to relate to what they see on the screen, or read in the book, or observe on the wall. We're all mirrors of each other, and this is what studios are getting wrong these days. Yeah, fiction is an escape to the fantastical. It's a highway of endless possibilities. But that means nothing if there's no humanity in it. It must leave an impact. Don't get me started on the OG Pixar movies. Don't get me going about Joker. And definitely don't make me talk about Logan. These things, however outlandish or out of the realm of possibility, are still very much real in the concepts and questions they raise. You may not live it, but you feel it. That's what it's about. The adventures of Wolverine speak to abuse and the duality of man. Wonder Woman represents the idealistic vision of a more unified world, of hope and humanity. Naruto pushes the message of persistence and the power of not giving up. There's something to learn there, something real. And that's why on this channel, I plan on marrying fiction and reality. The magnificent art form that is animation has followed me through the years and left its mark. I respect it and other forms of media so much for that reason. So you're gonna hear a lot of what I think about certain characters, shows, and stories, and it never hurts to wax philosophical as I do it. But for now, thanks for listening, and don't forget to take the leap.